Hi, my name is Adam David, and welcome back to my channel, Spirit University, where we discuss the crossroads between science and spirituality and how you can use both to better your life. The word fractal has been used in modern times to denote the apparent repeating of reality through recognizable patterns and systems that recreate those recognizable repeating patterns. In this video, we're going to explore why that is and how it ties back into spirituality, and how you can use that to empower yourself and make your life better. The reason behind the fractal nature of the universe appears to be due to how information is shared between the many focal points of reality and the perimeter, or the outside of the universe, before it's pulled back in towards the center. This is how information is shared around the entire universe and how the whole system, the universe itself, knows what's going on. We have named this shape a torus. And before we get into that further, perhaps we should quickly go over what a torus is and what properties it has. Put simply, a torus is a donut-shaped geometry that describes the electromagnetic field of all matter in the universe. A torus demonstrates the continuous motion of energy flowing in through one end, circulating around the center, and then flowing out the other side. This creates a self-contained field that operates independently while also interacting with other energetic fields. Toruses can be observed everywhere, from the galaxies to the cells in our body. They allow energy and information to be exchanged across these different scales of existence. Before we get further into how toruses underlie the fractal patterns of reality, understanding their form and their electromagnetic properties is key. Toruses encircle a focal point which emit energy towards the outer edges before ultimately looping back in on itself in a recursive fashion. It is this movement of energy that produces the electromagnetic forces and enables an energetic being like a planet, organism, or even consciousness to sustain itself. When this energy reaches the focal point of the torus, the information is converted from up and down waves or transverse waves into packet-like waves or longitudinal waves that send information towards the edge of the universe at near instantaneous speed, adding to the stacked information within the field. This makes all pieces of matter gateways to and from the information field, or liminal space, or a different dimension. Every single torus has a grip on reality, and depending how much pull they have more control over their reality. You may be asking, how does this work? And this is where fractality re-enters the picture, because there is a reporting back into the information field from every focal point of every torus. Or another way to say this is each region of space is an interconnected series of toruses that are being fed information from the ultimate perimeter. And because of this, the focal point that has the most grip on reality has the most control over what information is being received and expressed by all the toruses entrained in its force. Building on this concept, in the universe there are these things called life, or being alive. Well, if we look at each life form as being a collection of toruses with a brain and spinal cord serving as the central pillar of their bodies, we see the center column is composed of different focal points or chakras and are a collection of embedded toruses. Extending on that, we know that things that are alive have to control their environment around them to survive by doing things that we call eating, drinking, breathing, hearing, and seeing things, all of which are called consuming or consumption, which is to say contrasting what is going on in the environment and summing it up into a single processable piece of information, like what they're seeing or tasting or touching. And it's through this self-selecting and recursive process of information consumption that we determine that something is conscious, or continually contrasting the environment for differences. But what's really happening with our inorganic matter, and how does it know what state to take on? Well, the answer lies behind what many have called the quantum field, and how it interacts with consumed perspective. Imagine for a second you have a sphere that you want to divide into a limited number of spheres. One way to do this would be information. Just like how the game files in a computer, when playing a video game, don't actually contain the world, but the processor is interpreting the game code, and the graphics card is drawing the computed reality. And then the recreated world is being drawn on the screen. Everything in this game world is controlled by the code, the computer processing the code, and what part of the game world is being used by the player at that moment. Well, this is one way the universe could segment itself into infinite number of possibilities. So in our universe of toruses, the more conscious entities are the players controlling what parts of reality are being observed at any given time. This would mean that all the other non-conscious foci or focal points, like the collective torus of the atoms in a rock, within the observed field of a conscious observer, must consume information that the conscious observer is expecting. To put this in simpler terms, how we feel at any given moment what a conscious entity expects to happen, and what region of space they're in, all control what appears to us out of the quantum field. From the focal point of each individual entity, there is a spiraling point of motion. The spiral pattern is known as the Fibonacci spiral, or the golden mean ratio. We could do an entire video on this concept alone. However, how the individual entity prints itself in 3D reality is along these spirals in a 3D outwards moving vortex motion. And this has a series of recognizable surface patterns that are all across the universe. You may be asking yourself, well, who's the biggest conscious observer on the Earth? Well, the answer is the Earth itself. This is due to the immense electromagnetic force the Earth is creating around itself due to the iron core inside the Earth creating a giant cohesive torus for us all to play in. This effectively makes us players in the game of Gaia. But it's deeper than that. Because we're composed of the minerals and organic material of the Earth, we are also conscious observers for and of the Earth. This effectively makes us both extensions of Gaia and individual conscious agents moving around in a portable quantum computer that we're calling a body. And while it's difficult to see ourselves as reflections of the planet with just our eyes, when you compare things like the human energetic field and the Earth's energetic field, or our veins and nerves with the rivers and streams of the Earth, the connection becomes obvious. Taking this one step further, this would mean, in essence, each human being is really a collection of focal points along the spine, or an array, that exists within another set of focal points on the Earth, that exists within another set of focal points in the solar system, that exists within another set of focal points in the galaxy, until infinity. And this would mean that we are also fractals of the universe itself. How does the universe keep track of all the fractals of itself? To answer this, we must first come back to the conscious observer's perspective. Conscious observers in our reality are watching time move in a linear fashion, which means that between each tick of time, there could be a pause of an eternity, and the observer would have absolutely no idea because to them, everything is moving along just how they expect. This is why you often hear the phrase that time is an illusion, because it is. Taking this one step further, we are constantly creating and recreating the universe with every heartbeat, just as a computer is redrawing each frame on the screen in our video game example. In other words, the more conscious an entity is, the more they're running the show, and they are able to tweak the computer code in real time, or within their torsion field. To expand on this further, we are co-creating reality with each other, with the Earth, with the Sun and the planets, the entire Milky Way galaxy, and the entire universe. Because if the conscious observer is controlling what information is being processed, are we not all fractals of God, fractals of Source, or fractals of the Creator? On that note, if you enjoyed this video, please like this video and subscribe, because I promise there's more to come. This has been Adam David, and thank you for watching.